I'm Ellie and I'm a senior accountant here at Carter's Tax Advisory. I'm also known as our Xero Hero here at Carter's. This month we're celebrating small business and we're discussing key topic areas that are affecting small business owners. One of the most important areas of small business is managing your bookkeeping. Now, it's not everyone's favourite thing to do, but it's really, really important. One key thing that you will take away from keeping on top of your bookkeeping is being able to review how your business is performing on a regular basis. You'll be able to keep on top of your reporting obligations, and one of the main things that you'll realise is that your accountant has access to reliable, up-to-date and valuable information about your business. They can further analyse this and provide you with feedback on how your business is performing in real time. Today we'll be looking at how to perform 3 key basic functions in Xero to help with your bookkeeping. This includes issuing an invoice to your customers, reconciling your bank feeds, and running a profit and loss report in Xero. First, let's have a look at how to issue an invoice to your customers. So first we're going to have a look at how to issue an invoice in Xero. At the moment we're on our dashboard, which is the main screen when you come into Xero. This shows you a snapshot of your business. For our purpose, we're going to look at invoicing. To do a new sales invoice, you can go straight here on the dashboard. This will open a new screen of how you create your invoice in Xero. 3 key points to remember when you're sending an invoice out to your customers is you need to have the due date, the amount to be paid, and how they can pay you. We'll go through how you generate the invoice to send to your client. First, we're going to put in their name. So this invoice is going to John Smith. The date is today, and it's due in 7 days. A hot tip, if you do the plus sign and the day that you want it due in, it'll generate the date for you. Reference, this is something that makes sense to you and the customer. So for this one, it's going to be a kitchen renovation. Now, we need to include a description in the invoice. You could have this as detailed as you like, or just something simple that the client understands. Quantity always has to have an amount in there. For this one, it's just going to be 1 kitchen renovation at $15,000. This invoice is going to be tax inclusive, so GST is already calculating for you. The next thing to do, once you're happy with the invoice, is to click Approve. This finalises the invoice in Xero for you and does all the reporting in the background that you need. Once you are finished and you have everything you need to go, you can email this directly to your client so they can pay you as soon as possible. You are also able to attach any individual items that you needed that may make sense to the customer. This may be plans, drawings, quotes, anything you've discussed. You can do that using this button here. Once you're ready to send your invoice to your client, you can preview the invoice before you send it to make sure it makes sense. This button here, the preview button, will show you an example of how the invoice looks. This option is showing how it looks on a mobile device. You can see that you can scroll through and see all of the important information with the payment details at the very bottom. This option here will show how it will preview if the client was to open it on a PC desktop. You can see the same information is available, including your payment instructions at the very bottom. So now that we're happy with the invoice and we're ready to send it out to the client, we'll click on this email button here. This will open a new window which will let you preview what the client will see when they receive it. You can customize this for each client, or you can have a template that comes up each time for you. We can see that it's going to go to this email address, it's going to have this template, this is going to be the subject, and this is the bulk of the email that they will receive. Once we're ready, we click send. The client will now receive the invoice and you'll be able to see once they've viewed it in Xero. So the second key basic bookkeeping area we're going to look at is reconciling your bank feeds in Xero. Again, we're on our dashboard, which shows you have 2 business bank accounts in this particular file. We're going to look at the business bank account and reconcile some of these items that are currently outstanding. If there's items you need to deal with, you'll have this button here saying reconcile 25 items. This account has already been taken care of, so we don't need to worry about it. If we click this button, a new screen will open showing your bank feeds section. The left-hand side of the screen shows the information that comes straight from internet banking. The right-hand side is where you tell Xero what to do with that particular transaction. We'll have a look at a few to show you a few examples. This particular transaction here, you can see that money has been received into the bank account. A customer is paying an invoice. On the right-hand side, you can see that Xero has tried to match this payment to an invoice that's outstanding in the system. As it has matched it, it has shown it up as green. You need to check this information to make sure Xero is doing the work for you correctly. In this case, it is, so we'll click OK. That invoice has now been reconciled, will now no longer show up in awaiting payment and will be available in your profit and loss report, which will generate soon. If you scroll down, we can see that there's a few more transactions that we still need to deal with. As you prepare more and more transactions in Xero, it starts to learn what you do with certain things. In particular, you can see that this bank fee here from NAB is showing up with pre-filled information for you. It is filling in the who and the what and the why for you. This is saying that it's being paid to the bank, that's the who. The what is what category it is. In this case, it's bank fees. The why is a brief description for yourself to let you know what this particular expense was relating to. We're happy with what Xero's suggesting, so we can click OK, and that transaction has been dealt with. If we scroll down a little bit further, we can see another transaction that needs to be dealt with. This particular one from MCO Cleaning isn't showing up what we could do with it. Xero hasn't dealt with it before and it's not sure what to do, so this is where you'll need to do some work. We need to fill in the who and the what so that Xero can deal with this transaction for us. The who is going to be MCO Cleaning. The what is going to be the cleaning expense account. Xero is really clever when you're looking for an account that you need to allocate your expenses to. You can start typing the word and it will give you suggestions. As you can see, we're looking for cleaning and it's giving us the option there. We'll select that account and that's where it will allocate the transaction for us. Now, you don't need to enter the why unless you want to. This is somewhere where you can enter more information. For example, we could include that it is an office clean, but you don't need to include this to be able to reconcile your transaction. We can then click OK, and that transaction has also been dealt with. Another cool feature in Xero is to avoid keeping your receipts in a box and having this horrible big mess of paper receipts. You can keep them electronically in Xero. Your accountant will love you for this. When you're in Xero, when you're reconciling a transaction, if you hit the Add Details button here on the right, it'll open more detail for you to add more information in. One of the buttons that you'll be looking for is this one here. This will allow you to attach a receipt or an invoice to the particular transaction. If we click on this, it'll open a new box. We'll hit Upload Files, find that invoice on your desktop, and click Open. This will help in looking at your transactions further down the track if you need to refresh your memory on what that invoice was for. We can then select where it's going to go to. In this case, it was a subcontractor. We're going to select subcontractors and click Save Transaction. We're then also going to click Reconcile to let Xero know that we're happy with this transaction. That's taken care of. The third thing that we're going to look at today is how to generate a profit and loss report in Xero. It's really important to review this on a regular basis to allow you to see how your business is tracking. You can see how you're performing, if you're achieving a profit this month, how much you're spending on particular items, and if your revenue is increasing over the months that you're reviewing. To do this, we're going to be starting on our dashboard again in Xero. We're going to go to the accounting menu at the top of your screen, and you're going to select the profit and loss report from your drop-down menu. If you can't see this here, it means you haven't favorited it as a favorite report in Xero. Instead, you can go to the reports menu and we can find it from there. Today, we're going to have a look at the profit and loss report for the month of September, and we're going to compare it to the previous 2 months so we can review the performance of the previous quarter. We're going to change our date range to the 1st of the 9th, 2021 till the 30th of the 9th, 2021. We're going to select Compare with previous 2 periods and click Update. This will now show us the performance for each particular month of July, August, and September. For this particular business, we can see that their sales have been increasing over this month, which is a really great achievement. As we scroll down, we can see the direct costs that the business have incurred for those months and their operating expenses or their overheads. This allows us to review how much you're spending on each category and if there's a particular category you need to look into further because you're spending too much money on a particular item. We can also see at the very bottom of the screen the net profit that has been achieved for each particular month. You can see that July was 13,000 profit achieved, August was 9,000, and September was 16,000. We can also change this report to combine the 3 months together. If we change our date range from the 1st of September 2021 till the 30th of September and remove our comparison period, we can see these 3 months combined as a total. One thing to keep in mind when you're reviewing your report in Xero is that they're automatically prepared on an accruals basis. You can change this to a cash basis if you like. The difference between accruals and cash basis is an accruals basis is when you have issued an invoice or received an invoice. It records in Xero and that will appear in your accruals profit and loss. The cash basis is when the money is received in and when the money goes out. This may vary depending on terms of trade and when your invoices are being paid by your customers. To show you how to change this, you'll click on the More button in the top right-hand corner, select from the drop-down Cash, and then select Update. This changes the figures in our report to show how much money has actually been received into the bank account and how much money has actually gone out in expenses. This shows us our cash net profit of $23,000 for the 3 months of July to September 2021. Whilst there's so many topics we could cover about bookkeeping, I hope the 3 that we've done today have been helpful for you. If you'd like further assistance or would like to organise a Xero training session, please feel free to contact our office. We'd be more than happy to help.